Hey guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. A bit of craziness going on in the stock markets at the moment. Well, relative craziness. I wouldn't call it absolute craziness. But yeah, it's time for our Bitcoin evening wrap. If you guys wouldn't mind quickly smashing the likes, that would be awesome. And yeah, by like by craziness, I mean this is this is what we're buying over here. Look. Going up like that, and this is what stock markets are doing, look, going down like that. But we will just go over to the charts and have a proper look at what is going on. Obviously it doesn't bode too well for Bitcoin in any way, shape or form, but anyway, these sorts of moves aren't necessarily the be all and end all of the world. But we will have a look anyway. So Bitcoin, as you can see, Bitcoin is getting dragged down by this. As we know, Bitcoin will get dragged down by stock markets. I mean, we know that. What I am looking for is Bitcoin not to get dragged down as much as stock markets. And also, if it does, I mean, this is the main area for me. I've been saying it all along, 10,500, 10,600. We either break above here and we form a base up here, or we come down here and we form a base down here. They are basically the two options that I think are most likely. So we are not looking good within this within this ascending triangle. We can see how this plays out, and if we do rally, we can maybe redraw it. But obviously, it pretty much. I did say this, I think, on this morning's video, that we will be taking one of the things that could be pulling us down would be stock markets going down. The other would be the dollar going up, and both of those things will probably likely happen together. One because of the other, or which way around, we don't necessarily know. But yeah, we will go over to the dollar index of that to have a look first. I mean, it's not really moved much, in all fairness. It got rejected from this horizontal this morning. Obviously, this is today, so it was down here this morning, and then it's just rallied back up to the horizontal. So it's not really done a lot. It's not any higher than it was yesterday, when stocks were getting hit like this. So that's just something we have to kind of bear in mind. I mean, does this look like a potential bottom? So there will be some profit taken. I mean, that is what I have been saying I think is the case. Profit taken in basically gold and silver, profit taken in some stocks, just because there is the risk that the dollar may strengthen from here. There's the risk. This is clearly a more bottom looking formation than what we've had going on basically for a while. So will it actually be one though? I don't think so. I just think markets have pullbacks. Markets have to have pullbacks. Don't forget, when markets have pullbacks, they tend to go up the staircase and down the elevator shaft. So they sort of stair step up, and then they go down in what is a relative straight line. We will have a quick look at the stocks. So yeah, you can see. I mean, I had this horizontal drawn in. This horizontal is pretty much the ATH, the all-time high for the S&P. I believe so. Am I correct in thinking this? I am correct in thinking this. Is the all-time high for the S&P, back to the daily. It's I think it's a Russell. That's not that. This level here, this point in time, was not the all-time high for the Russell. That's what I was getting confused with. But yeah, so basically, we just ticked the all-time high pretty much. No, not nearly. We got close, and obviously we're having a bit of a sell-off. That was clearly a target. The all-time high is always going to be a target. So I wouldn't necessarily think that that's it and we're done. I mean, all-time highs are basically, you should buy all-time highs, because all-time highs just lead to higher all-time highs. And obviously we tap this and we'll probably rally back up and blast through it and keep going up, because that is how stock markets roll. The Nasdaq is at one of these inflection points where I've highlighted it a few times. We're in a nice channel. We're at this channel. I mean, we have broken through. We've wicked below. We've closed open candles below a few times. So it's not over. It is not over until the fat lady sings, as it were. It's not over, obviously, until we properly break down here, break the 21. And in all fairness, I would say it's not over until we break the 50 period, because this is often a buy zone, a more aggressive buy zone from a buy zone from a more aggressive sell-off between the 21 and the 50, this trigger zone. But yeah, I would be keeping an eye on this. I would be keeping an eye on this. Incidentally, we nearly had the daily 9 there. We did have it in the S&P, the daily 9, as you can see there, and ironically enough, we're having a bit of a sell-off. Who would have thunk it, guys? That crazy TD sequential. It's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, so realistically, this is the target. This is the target, the daily 21 a target, this horizontal a target, and then just maybe play out this range, form a base here in stocks and break up, and then when that happens, if that happens, if we even get down this low and we don't just reverse and go back up pretty soon, because we know stocks are prone to doing things like that. Then yeah, we'll have a look at silver. Silver having a bit of a nightmare at the moment, but all it is doing is coming back towards the daily 21. I mean, there is nothing too bad about that. We obviously had a 12-hour sell signal, 12-hour TD sell, which wasn't far off the highs. We didn't really make much progress after that. We flagged out, and then we basically broke down. So that is enough. Oh, one more market. We'll look at the gold market. Let's look at the gold market. Where's my annotations? Here we go. So yeah, as you can see, gold having a dip. It had a nice aggressive trend line, broke the trend line, came down. This is the horizontal level, but we've broken through that at the moment, so we'll see what happens there. But back over to Bitcoin. So until proven otherwise, I think it is just markets have had a strong run up. We're a long way away from a lot of daily 21s, and pullbacks are normal. Bitcoin, this is what I was hoping and said I think Bitcoin may do. Now we've confirmed a macro bullish trend for Bitcoin. When we do get these pullbacks in other assets that can potentially negatively impact Bitcoin, Bitcoin can relatively hold up its own. It will obviously move down in sympathy with those markets, but I think it won't basically move down as aggressively, and will hold its own. Basically. So I mean, there's a dynamic behind that I will explain. I mean, Bitcoin has only recently broken out of this range. It's not anywhere near its all-time highs. Other markets are very near. Well, gold is near all-time highs. Obviously, silver wasn't. Silver got up to like nearly $50. But obviously, stock markets are relative all-time highs. So when you're relative all-time highs, a lot more people have bought it up. So there's a lot more profit taken to be done. When you're not at all-time highs and you haven't had as big a run-up like we haven't had in Bitcoin, then there's not as much people there to take profits, and there's more people interested in buying. So there's just some dynamics for you guys. We will go to the daily to see how the daily candle's looking like. I mean, you can see it doesn't look too bad on the daily. You could draw a line with these wicks down here. Look, and we're basically at that level and moving back up. Obviously we have now at the moment closing in 4 hours. I will have lost this this resistance zone. And yeah, so realistically, Bitcoin has to rally up, get back above. I mean, to be on the safe side, I'd call it 11,600. Get back above 11,600. I think we won't be looking too bad. If we don't, then yeah, like I said, 10,500, 10,500 to 600, the area I've been talking about since we broke out of this level, is an important level. And yeah, I mean, we can just form a bit of a box formation like we did sort of down here, and then we'll form some pattern that will bust us out of it. In this case, it was a descending channel which broke out to the upside. Who knows what it'll be in this one? We may even still pretty much stay in this ascending triangle, or we may just play out some sideways, and then blast up, or blast is probably not the right word, but blast down or move down. But yeah, we'll just have to see how that plays out. So yeah, interesting day in markets, to say the least. Usually we're in the rally, the bubble of everything. Even oil, I'm bullish on oil, as you guys will know if you watch some other videos. Got up to nearly 43 today, but that's having a bit of a pullback as well. Yeah, it's just pullbacks everywhere. Stop run day, stops getting hit, trailing stop. I mean, they're not necessarily stops. They're trailing. A lot of trailing take profit orders, which are obviously the same technical order, the same market sell order as a stop. They are getting triggered, but they're people stopping. So basically, that's what I mean by taking profit. It just seems to me like it is taking profit because believe me, guys. Trump has got the TGA, the Treasury General Account, and it has an awful lot of money in. I'm pretty sure it's got about 1.4 trillion that he can just spend at will. He doesn't need Congress to have any say in what he does with that money. And trust me, that money is coming to buy votes, to buy an election, because that is how democracy works. The politicians use your money to buy your vote to give them power. It's fantastic, isn't it? But anyway, so there we go, guys. Thanks for listening. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow.